reported that you dropped 8 tapes in 2021. You're dropping too much. Like, slow down. Let me catch up.
It's not going to expire before you get to it.
How many tapes do you feel like you have total?
I don't know.
DIY.
Okay, DIYers. So I recently saw that the silent giant of independence, Currency. I'm a fan of Currency, been a fan of Currency for quite some time. Currency sat down with Say Cheese Media, and he fielded a few different questions. One of which is actually a question as a Currency fan that I've always had. Why do you release so much damn music?
We reported on Say Cheese a few months ago. We reported that you dropped 8 tapes in 2021. And it was mixed reviews about it.
He looked around like, I did?
You know, a lot of people feel like that are Currency fans, they loved it. But then on the flip side, a lot of people feel like that's too consistent. Like you're dropping too much. Like, slow down, let me catch up.
Yeah, but I mean, what is slow down, let me catch up if it's something you like, and then it's art. So it's not gonna expire before you get to it. It's not like you bought too much stuff in groceries. Like, it's gonna wait, and then when you get to it, you get to it. That's how shit work. You always find shit like, oh, I didn't know this came out. I didn't know dude dropped this. That's why I do so much of that shit. Like, my favorite artist, Max B, did so much music before he went to jail that today I might find a song that I never heard and I think I know all dude's shit. You know what I'm saying?
As a Currency fan, I started telling people, look, don't let the off-kilter, different approach to rapping throw you off. Because sometimes when he rap, it sounds like run-on sentences. He started releasing more projects. He even did a partnership with, I believe, Warner Brothers. And then he just started doing a whole bunch of like mixtapes. He started doing a whole bunch of albums. And I found it as a Currency fan very difficult to catch up with. It took me a few years, actually. After that, I stopped listening because I was like, man, I feel like I'm missing out on the newer stuff. I feel like I'm behind the curve, and I just slowly stopped listening. However, his theory does hold true in that this being art that doesn't expire, I found myself this year, after years of kind of like going another direction, finding other artists that kind of filled the lane that he once was rapping in. And then I went back to these projects that I missed, and I'm like, yo, they have not lost their quality. Every single project gives you exactly what you need from a Currency and his type of music. I think that his theory still holds true in that this art does not expire. And when you put that out there, you get an opportunity to really take these snapshots of your life at that period in time.
How many tapes do you feel like you have total?
I don't know.
I'm gonna go back, but wait a minute. Wait a minute.
How many tapes do you feel like you have total?
I don't know. I was just about to tell you, it's like cars, like, you know what I'm saying? I like them. I could never have too. How is it too many cars? If I know how many cars I like, how could it be too many?
I think what's different about Currency creating at a high clip of music, I think what's different from what he's doing versus what a signed artist is doing with singles is that he's putting together full bodies of work. And matter of fact, for the majority of these projects, correct me if I'm wrong, he's working with a singular producer, like a Ski Beats, a Alchemist. He's finding somebody to lock in with and create a moment. Jermaine Dupri is another one. I believe as an artist, when you lock in with the producer, you're able to stay in a space. I'm assuming most of these are probably 2 tracks, and create these albums that are within a theme, and then it becomes another one of your art pieces that you hang up. There's not too many songs that I want to listen to individually and then say I don't want to listen to anything else. If I hear Audio Dope 2, I want to hear Breakfast. I want to hear every single Currency song that is surrounding that particular aesthetic. I think artists who struggle with this are going to be artists who have made nothing but a career out of chasing whatever's hot, trying to find whatever sound is going to get them more streams, figuring out how to stay up with the who's who. Then when they sit down to stay focused for a project, they can't do it.
For the people who like my music, how could I have oversaturated them with music? Like, they take all of it and process all of it when it drops because they want it. So, you know, it's like drugs. You're not going to have too many bricks, you know, because they always going to, the people who your clients gonna always come to you, so that's guaranteed money.
Shout out to Spitter, man. Shout out to Spitter. So the only pushback that I as a rapper ever get from people when I talk about wanting to put together bodies of work and really put out projects and just try things that are all within a theme at one point in time. The pushback that I get from people who are like, you're going to put out an album, is one, people don't listen to albums. The second one is, you're going to oversaturate. It's going to be too much music. And my question is, for who? DIYers, I think sometimes we as independent artists overvalue the casual fan so much that we value them more than the person that is actually a super fan of us. Or some of us don't even allow the opportunity for someone to become a super fan of us because we're constantly shifting gears, inspired by this and running to that direction, inspired by this and running to that direction, and not trying to follow one course until success long enough to develop a super fan. Because when you have a super fan, what you will recognize is this: they spend the amount of money that takes so many casual fans to muster up and put together in a year's time by themselves.
I just interviewed a rapper named Certified Trapper. He's from Milwaukee. And
the look though. Hey, the look though. The look. I don't know what part of that he was surprised by, but he said Certified Trapper from Milwaukee. He said, hold on, we gotta go back to that. That had me crying.
Certified Trapper. He's from Milwaukee. And like yourself, he dropped 33 tapes in 2 years.
I saw, like y'all say, he made like X amount of dollars. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that kind of shit. I believe that. If there's people that's gonna come, like, all motherfuckers gotta do is free damn near to drop, to produce the music. Once you get your setup, initially, the cost of buying all that shit, you get out of that hole. For you to work, you know what I'm saying? That's cool, but that's gonna make you do shows. And then that's money that you touch it. And at them shows, you could sell shirts and all the rest of your merchandise. And if you underground, like, I didn't hear a dude till that post. So that means his fans know how tough it is to get his stuff, to see him and shit. So when they go to the show, they gonna clear the merch table out.
Sheesh.
And then between the merch table and the money he made at the show, he could fucking wake up tomorrow and buy a farm.
You think an artist like that is concerned about streaming? When they know that because of their consistency, because of their relentlessness, because of their commitment to their sound, and I feel like you cannot release that kind of a body of work unless you have a sound, or a sound that you're focused on creating. This is the beauty of independence. You don't have to figure out what's gonna make the people get going. You gotta figure out what's getting you going first. And if it's something that you can stay committed to for at least the next year, because it's going to require a whole lot of commitment to show up and continue to build upon this idea.
There's people who wouldn't believe, like, the numbers we pull in because they don't see me on BET jams and shit. So it's like, it can't be, you know what I'm saying? That's not right. That's cap, but that's actually like how the fuck it is, you know?
I know if he's making $25,000 a month.
That artist that they brought up is making $25,000 a month. And unless you're native to Milwaukee, or unless you've heard of this story already, it's my first time hearing about it is in this interview. More of those people exist. More of those people will exist because their desire is not to be industry famous. Their desire is not for people like you in particular to know who they are. Their desire is to create a certain type of art that speaks in a certain type of code that activates a certain type of listener and consumer.
They're on a totally different level.
Yeah, come on. We got a few things going more than mixtapes, you know? So yeah, but we don't want to get into that. That's when everybody gets pissed. And, you know, it's about who's making this and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to do none of that. I just, you know, how Ace Boogie said, like, we just going to make money and niggas not going to talk, B. You know, we just going to make ours. It's good.
What do you have to say to people who feel like dropping that much music, it becomes a quantity over quality thing?
Yeah, that's true if you're not making good stuff.
That is true if you're not making good stuff. I think that we forget the people who are creating at a high clip and are able to keep up consistency have figured out systems in their creation process. They figured out how to get from A to Z a little bit quicker while they're in their flow state because they've done this thousands and thousands of times through songs and projects. They know, even if they don't write it down, and I'm sure somebody, if not him, somebody in his group or team writes down what to expect from a usual rollout of a project. When you have that systemized, and you need that systemized so that you can duplicate that on a regular basis and be successful, or at least be consistent, that is the difference between you and somebody who went viral and then went quiet.
That's like when you mass produce some shit, then yeah, you're gonna drop the ball because you just become a printing press and you're just stamping it out like that. But that's not what we doing. Like, we working out of love. If we ain't love doing the shit, then we wouldn't do it. I got enough shit going on at the house to where I wouldn't leave the house. I got enough shit to fucking just ride around in to keep me from coming here. The engineer got enough to do. Like, the homies got enough other shit to do. And then the way I work is weird. Like, you might be walking into the movies with your girl when I call you, like, bro, my nigga, like, I'm trying to get out, like, but you know, I don't know when I'm gonna want to do this shit. So, like, you mind, like, sliding, you know, let's do this shit. Yeah. And then it's probably never gonna be over till like 6 in the morning. Everyone's mad, you know what I'm saying? But, like, then the shit gonna work out.
If you wanna be a professional artist, an independent artist, it is important for you to give it the same dedication, the same structure, and the same expectations as your job would put on you. You cannot show up whatever time you want. You cannot just hope that you can feel your way to a classic version of whatever that is for you as an artist in an album form. You must already be in motion and stay consistent and find something that you can stay consistent at, something that feeds something in you first, because it got to move you first before it moves anybody else. And you got to treat this like the damn job it is. This is a job. It's a cool ass job, but it's also a job that you chose. But way too many artists treat this like a hobby. And meanwhile, they're yelling at everybody else about how serious they are about their craft. This man just said right now, the expectation that he as a professional artist has for those he works with is to be flexible with their time, because usually he's next to the place that he works at, his studio. He may give you a phone call and say, hey, I know you might be into something right now, but we're getting ready to lock in. Can you do it? I really need you here. And for those who understand what that could mean for the next 6 months of their life or the rest of their life because of the catalog they're a part of, they're probably making a decision to go ahead and do that. Yo, shout out one more time to Currency, man. Currency, you are an inspiration on so many levels, because I felt like I met your music at a time where I was really trying to figure out what I wanted. I had people in my right ear in the independent field telling me what was possible. I had people in my left ear telling me the possibilities that I had as a artist if I would even think about signing with someone, right? And I felt like it put me in a really gray area at that age, because one side of it was like, this is where you're gonna make your real money. The other side of this, and be able to keep your artistic integrity and be able to create the music that you want to create and be able to get to the highest level of creativity you want to get to. And the other end was like, but this could change your life, potentially the rest of your life forever, if you get the right deal, and if you pay your dues, if you kiss the right ass, if you get in the right rooms, if you know when to shut up, if you know the middleman or the middleman or the middleman that can get you paid. And then it was a Currency that I seen pop up in Life Under the Scope in a music video, and I was like, this looks like somebody who's creating the art that he wants to create. It took me going on tour with artists like Murs and seeing, oh, this is what independence looks like. It's tangible. I see how you generate the income here. I see why you're always on tour. I see the importance of having CD on hand, because it's not about if people have a CD player in their car. It's about, can they have any other experience that best represents them meeting you for the first time? Will they have any other piece of item in their home that you have signed, that you have put your hard blood, sweat, and tears into, had a conversation with them, and gave them to them? I know people who have saved business cards because of entrepreneurs that they have looked up to. You trying to tell me you don't think a music fan would hold on to a CD irregardless if they have a CD player? If they got it from you and you signed it? Maybe you're not a music fan. I'm gonna leave you with this too. I also had a thought this week about leaving streaming, especially after doing all of these reaction videos. Sometimes I don't think people recognize that I am seeing a lot of this stuff for the first time, or I'm getting light bulb moments that I didn't get when I pre-screened some of the content. And it got me to a point where I was like, I'm gonna let it go. I don't need streaming. I'm gonna take all my music off, kind of how Prince did in 2015. I'm gonna take all my music off, and I'm gonna only go to Bandcamp and my website and really put the pressure on myself and my fans to stay consistent in a place that I can control the price points, not just $1.29 for a single like streaming does. But then my farm manager hit me up, and he made a great point. He said, you ever go to a restaurant and they say cash only, but it's your favorite restaurant? Isn't it annoying? And I said, it is. He said, then why does it have to be an either or? Why can't it be an and? Why can't you have your music on streaming and put it on your website and Bandcamp and prioritize that as a part of your promotional push? You ain't even got to share none of them links, but it's available for those fans who want to use that as the medium to support you. And then even this, he said there are going to be people who buy a vinyl, buy a CD from you, buy the digital download from you, and just want the convenience of listening to your music on Spotify while they're at the gym. Why do they have to get penalized? Because the streaming services are assholes. Made a lot of sense. Then, as he was talking, I thought about the last DVD I got, which was Get Out, an amazing Jordan Peele movie. I cracked it open, and even though we don't even have a DVD player downstairs, I cracked it open because I can play it on my Xbox, and I looked inside, and there was a sleeve that said, hey, in case this DVD scratches, here's a digital version for you to watch. And then it dawned on me, that is what is expected of our listeners and of our customers, to over-deliver in value. I only paid for a DVD, and I may or may not have a DVD player. They made sure that I had a digital version. This now is how I am finding my conclusion as a rapper myself, saying, you know what? Streaming is unfair. The idea that you have to push songs and songs and songs and songs to find some traction on there goes against what I feel like I'm best at, which is creating bodies of work and taking my time with them. However, that also means that I can deprioritize that platform and focus in on the other and make it available to those who want to support how they want to support. For those of you that desire to make albums, make your albums. Start doing that now. Don't single your way into figuring out how to create an album, because all you're going to do is just create an album full of Lucy's. You're better than that. Your art is better than that. Those are my thoughts, though, DIYers. You let me know what you think, though. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Stop being greedy. Peace.